Welcome to Supplier U. This is Matt Pfeiffer, and we are so excited to welcome back our friends from Elemerce, Michael Southworth, who's back to talk with us about protecting your brand on Amazon. We're so excited that you're here with us or watching the video later. Again, Supplier U is the first of its kind membership-based supplier education platform that gives our members unlimited access to live expert-led courses such as this, as well as our growing library of video on demand. And what makes it extra special is the fact that beyond just hearing from someone like Michael today, you'll have an opportunity to really get to know him and his business and their capabilities, and then reach out to them should you have any questions or need their help. So Michael is someone who's been a great friend to me and to our business over the years, and we're super excited to have you back, Michael. So thank you. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you having me back again, and welcome to anyone who is watching this or joining. Today we're going to talk about protecting your brand on Amazon. Just a little bit of experience. Elemerce, we've been managing brands on Amazon for over 100 years. I'm just getting it feels like it, a little over 8 years. This brand issue has come up many times. It's always at the forefront, and I can tell you, we've worked with well over 150 brands or so that we've either launched brand new on Amazon or tried to recover the mess that was made on Amazon by other sellers and distributors and the likes. And I'm just here to say that it's a lot easier to take control of it as early on as possible. So a lot of the information I'm going to share today, is you can find this stuff by digging around on Google. Hopefully, if this is a question you're asking and really wanting to hit the high points, I can save you some time and really get straight to the point. So, number one, Amazon, your presence on Amazon has a lot of impact on your brand. For one, it's very clear that a lot of shoppers these days use Amazon as a place to establish trust, especially in newer brands. If you're a 50 or 100-year-old brand, maybe it doesn't affect you as much, but any newer brand in the last 5 or 10 years is really going to need to stand out and show up well. Much like in the early days, a lot of people finding brands on Amazon would need to go and check your website, or they heard about it somewhere. They're going to go look at your website and validate. They're using Amazon exactly the same way to validate the brand, the professionalism of the brand, the ownership that the brand has over all of their customer-facing channels, and then reviews and the likes. And I'll get into that. It's a great channel for marketing. There's 200 million plus active Prime members in the United States. And so, most of your customers, most shoppers in America are on Amazon frequently, every single week, multiple times a week. And so in terms of getting your brand in front of would-be customers or current existing customers and leaving an impression on them, there's really no better place to do it. So even just from a marketing perspective, it's imperative that you have that consistency across your website, across your advertising channels, social media, and in your Amazon channel, your storefront, your listings, everything, in order to promote a consistent brand messaging and establish that customer loyalty. Because anytime you have a break in the chain somewhere, it damages that trust and that loyalty. So another, kind of data point, a couple of them, 75% is up, probably more like 76% of customers today are checking prices on Amazon. So when they're buying in retail or even on another website, they're going to Amazon immediately to check the prices and make sure that they're getting a competitive price. And so, managing your price integrity on a platform is crucial to, again, that brand experience. And if you have resellers or distributors or people that are undercutting pricing, it shows really bad for the consumer and for your other retail relationships. Likewise, about the same percentage by the way, these percentages are rising every year. So just, a couple of years ago, this was in the 60, mid 60s percentage. It's now 75, 76% of shoppers also checking reviews on Amazon prior to purchasing online. And so again, establishing trust, they're trying to get other, feedback from other customers. Even though there's been some kind of challenges and a little bit of messiness in Amazon's review platform, it's still a very trusted platform, place to get, customer insights and peer-to-peer insights. So it's imperative that, that you're monitoring those reviews on Amazon and garnering feedback from those customers. What are they liking? What are they not liking about the product? It's likewise, important to check the same, those reviews on your competitors' listings, because you're going to learn what do people like about those products and not like, and help craft your messaging and your competitive advantage. So lots and lots of value there. It's super important that you're monitoring and staying on top of your reviews, because bad reviews will kill your business fast on Amazon, and it can damage your brand outside of Amazon. So stay on top of those and do whatever you need to do to, ensure you can have, hopefully in that 4 to 5 star range. In addition, the customer experience, a lot of times it's true that on our website, our D2C sites and social media and, these other platforms, we have more flexibility. We have more ability to present our brand and kind of control the customer experience more. And I've seen a lot of brands that are like, well, that's why we want to stay there, and we want to maintain this premium brand experience, and we want to, and Amazon doesn't let us do it to the extent we want to, so they avoid Amazon. What ends up happening is, some distributor, somebody else gets your product and gets on there and then creates a different experience, or Amazon gets a hold of your product through another distributor. Even if they don't buy from you, if Amazon can find your product, if it's worth selling, they'll find it and they'll buy it. And so you don't want to leave that customer experience just up to Amazon or just up to some reseller. You don't need your Amazon listings looking like eBay, for example, just some random taking a picture of your product on their table. But this stuff can all be put on Amazon if you're not controlling it and you're not in front of it. So regardless of whether Amazon is your focus on sales, it's paramount still just to make sure that you're in control of the brand. Let's jump on to that. Okay, so that starts with brand registry. Most people watching are probably familiar with that, but you're going to have much better control of your catalog, your product catalog, and the content on those detail pages and the content in your store. And so the way that works is that when you're a registered brand with Amazon, you have a higher contribution score. So the changes that you make have a lot more change. Other sellers, other people can still submit changes to listings, but your information, your content is going to trump that, and you will usually stay locked in place. The one exception to that is that Amazon Retail or 1P Vendor Central. When Amazon sells that product or has sold that product in the past, Amazon's retail division takes precedence. They have a higher score yet over even brand registry. However, you still have the ability to make those changes and get them updated. It just can be a little bit tougher to go through, or a lot tougher in some cases, and is an ongoing battle, because we've seen many times listings and content just revert back to a previous version that was existing on Amazon's retail side, and you just have to push cases and fight it and get it through. So better control and kind of controlling your destiny there in the customer experience. That it looks like in the form of there are enhancements on the product detail pages and in ads themselves. Things like A+ content, where it's like a nice branded landing page of your on your product page, where you can give a lot more insight, details about the company, information about the product, customer experience, etc. You can't post reviews there, but you can talk more about the impact and the benefits of the product. video on the listings, video ads, sponsored brand ads, which appear as headlines at the top of the page, and also targeting other competitors. A lot more that you're able to do when you are a registered brand. Then your brand store, your storefront, Amazon's really invested in this, and it continues to expand this every year. Your ability to build a more customized look storefront with multiple pages, much like your website, to highlight, offers, to have links that go to your storefront, and attribution tags, and in analytics that give you data on, how many people have visited your store, how many people have purchased the store, what offers they're clicking on most often. So that's an important piece to have. Gives you a lot more insight into kind of how the customer is behaving and interacting with your brand on the channel. And the way to do this, or you have to have a registered trademark, or at least a live application. If you have a brand new brand, you've just applied for a new trademark, you can still get early access to Brand Registry and many of the tools that are part of that, with just using a live trademark application that they can verify. You'll also have to have a current website with your products on that, which most of you probably have, but that's worth noting. Okay, so one of the most crucial parts that Brand Registry allows you to do, or helps you do, is protect your intellectual property. So where we see that those problems come up, most often, like duplicate listings, where we in our company kind of phrase them goobers. So this is when another product, the same UPC, shows up on a different listing, multiple listings. Right, we're actually currently cleaning up a new client that had up to eight different listings for the same UPC, and they themselves were sending in 3 or 4 different labeling the same product 3 or 4 different ways to maintain these different listings and shelf space. The problem is it's very inconsistent. You have sellers all over the place, and you're not aggregating those reviews and the sales velocity to one listing to really push that up higher. So Amazon's policy is to have one listing in the catalog per unique product or per unique UPC. So when there are multiple goober listings or duplicate listings, we will merge them together so that there's one listing. You get the highest impact and the highest control, and the easiest to manage, clearly, a single listing. The other issue that we run into, depending on the products and the category, but there's a lot of issues with counterfeit products on Amazon. And as much as Amazon's tried to crack down on those things, it's still fairly rampant. So if you suspect that there are counterfeit products, listings being sold on your listing, the next move is to buy them, test and check and verify if it is in fact counterfeit. If it is, you can file an IP infringement claim and get that listing shut down almost immediately, pretty much immediately. In most cases, Amazon takes IP infringement very seriously. So the other side to that coin is that you need to make sure not to do that. You got to test and buy first, or don't do this as a way of just removing other sellers that are unauthorized, because that can and most likely will get your own account shut down. So verify that there's a counterfeit product. If there is, file an IP infringement claim. Another interesting scenario that we've seen pop up a few times are these kind of, I call it an unauthorized bundle. So people love bundles on Amazon. They love to get the added value of some kind of discount for multiple products. Sometimes we had a jewelry cleaner brand, very prominent brand, and one of a competitor out there, not even a direct competitor, they were just selling a little microfiber cloth under their brand, and they grouped, and they were somehow a distributor. They're obtaining the jewelry cleaner brand. Well, they listed it under that brand, but under their own brand store, and of the brand store of their cloth cleaners, but they were ranking on and highlighting the jewelry cleaners brand, which was a very, very strong brand in the United States. And this is an IP infringement. You can't be using another company's brand or imagery to promote and push your own brand. So again, if you're not monitoring the brand and staying on top of these things on Amazon, then this stuff is bound to happen, and very likely at the least to happen, and you may not even be aware of it. Another common issue that we see when brands are not kind of taking control of their destiny on Amazon and managing the brand proactively is we see a lot of unauthorized sellers, people that are violating MAP policies. They're upsetting your other retailers. They're causing a poor customer experience. They may be even sending in an expired product. If you have a consumable product, they can be, you have no control and no understanding of the kind of supply chain or chain of custody. And so you very often end up having poor customer experiences and poor reviews as a result of not having kind of control over the inventory. So a couple of points here. If you don't have, you've got to have a very clear Amazon reseller and a MAP policy in place. And it's a bit surprising, but there's so many times we run into with brands where they don't have a MAP policy in place with retailers or distributors. They don't have a channel, third-party marketplace or sales channel policies in place. And this is crucial. You can't hope to enforce something, a law or rule that isn't written, that doesn't exist. So that's where you need to start. Make sure you have clear policies in place and that your distributors and retailers understand them. Once that's in place, you can take appropriate, action and send cease and desist letters. Amazon does have a platform, right, within the Seller Central model or platform, and you can send these cease and desist letters directly to sellers. You are limited. I don't remember the number exactly, but you're limited to so many letters that you can send per month. But you also can obtain the addresses of these people and send physical letters. So a well-written or even a legal letter, it can often be very effective in removing those sellers that are violating a policy. Again, it's important to have a policy actually in place so that you have that to refer to. There are dozens of reseller enforcement services and MAP violation, MAP enforcement services out there. Brand Shield is just one example. You can just Google it and you'll see pages of them. So there's a lot of these that type of agencies that focus specifically on that. They'll send out those letters for you. They will identify the sellers and they will handle that interaction and keep the channel, very clean on your behalf. Another key kind of point is a lot of times it's very it's tempting to use UPC. If your product allows you to just use the UPC code as your product code, and you avoid having to label it, it saves you time and cost in getting the product prepped and ready to send to Amazon. But the problem is with UPC is that becomes commingled to inventory. So unless you are the exclusive seller and nobody else is going to be bringing product to the channel, your product is going to be commingled with other sellers' inventory. And so that becomes problematic. There's the people, sometimes they'll send in damaged product, the packaging is damaged. Maybe they bought it through a liquidation, or they bought it, retail arbitrage on a sale, and the product has actually exchanged hands, and so it's not in new condition. If it's a consumable product, it may be expired, and then those products are mixed in with your product, and there's no way for Amazon to kind of do a bin check and figure out which product belongs to, which seller. And so it's better just to use Amazon labels and have your inventory forever tied to you. It also, especially in the case with expired products, it makes it very hard for Amazon to do the first in, first out and really control that customer experience. So, this is, kind of a quick one. There's some very straightforward points. But again, I'll reiterate, whether Amazon is going to be a key sales channel for you or not, you must protect the brand. You've got to just take that ownership of it and control the brand on there. If you're somehow able to control anybody from getting on there, you have complete control of your delivery and sales chains, sales channels, so that you can ensure that Amazon is not going to get its hands on it somehow. You may be okay, but those cases are very rare. And so I liken it to like a company culture. If you don't control it, it'll just run away from you. It'll have a life of its own. And trust me, playing cleanup after the fact, and the longer you go, the messier it is to clean up in terms of bad content, time it takes to get it changed, multiple listings, masses of resellers, bad reviews, all of the things you don't want to deal with, that really slow down your path to starting to sell and optimize on the channel, greatly inhibited when you have to deal with those kinds of issues. So my recommendation is, if you haven't started yet, get Brand Registry and make sure that you're proactively monitoring each of these areas, and staying on top of them, staying in front of them, getting clear policies in place, enforcing those policies, and owning the brand, because it's your sales channel. It's Amazon's customer, but it's your customer, when they're purchasing your brand, and you need to treat it, like you would your own site. And that's what I have. Matt, you have some questions or any questions from the group?
Yeah, great stuff. So my question to you is just long term. It seems like this is something that's just going to keep becoming a bigger and bigger issue. And I'm just wondering if directionally, if this is something that you sense that in the future, everybody's just going to outsource, because it's turned into such a big problem that brands just can't keep up with all of the issues.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's interesting. I've seen, at 8+ years doing this, Amazon has made tremendous strides and launched, dozens of programs to help brands manage their content and their products and everything better. But none of it is compares or has the effectiveness of a brand really proactively spending time on it, and monitoring those things daily, whether that's with, software tools and, combination of that and people. And it does just become a bigger problem. So with all the efforts that Amazon puts towards this, and even brands themselves, when they're trying to do it, the problem just seems to grow, or the challenge seems to, grow and get bigger with time, because it's, an open marketplace. And even though it's not quite the Wild West, it used to be, it's still, there's got to be millions of new sellers every year. So, as I go through all these things, I mean, we spend a fair amount of time, tens, or dozens of hours every month just on this one thing for brands that we work with. Just cleaning up the brand and making sure that things are on point, and that, nobody's disrupting things, getting content reverted back to the proper content that should be up there. I mean, it is an ongoing effort, for sure.
Yeah. Do this for me. Put up that last slide. And when you do that, I want to make it really easy for people to get in touch with Michael from the very last slide. Yeah. I just want to make it really easy for folks to get in touch with you and with your team. Obviously, the website is elemerce.com, but if you want to reach out to Michael directly, it's michael@elemerce.com. This is a company and a team that we've really had a great opportunity to get to know over the years. I can't tell you, I can't recommend them enough, not just because of their technical know-how and their track record with respect to the development of lots of multi-million-dollar brands, but they're just a really good quality group of people that I know you would have a great time getting to know and working with. So Michael, thank you again. Looking forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks for the third part in this series. But if anyone has any questions, just visit elemerce.com or reach out to michael@elemerce.com. Michael, thank you so much.
Awesome. Hey, appreciate it, Matt. Appreciate the kind words. It's been a pleasure to know you and work with you. And I'm serious. I'm just happy to talk to anybody. Anytime you have questions or just want to, pick my brain about stuff, reach out. Be happy to chat.